Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. This is Drops Flora. This 35% alpaca, 65% Peruvian Highland wool yarn features 31 colors. The colorway that we chose is 25 caramel. This 50-gram skein with 210 meters or 230 yards works up as a fingering weight yarn. The suggested gauge on a US 2.5 or 3 millimeter needles is 24 stitches and 32 rows per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. For our swatch, I'll be using a 4.5 millimeter needle size. In today's video, we're going to review and score Drops Flora using our 4 categories, which are traction, softness, durability, and cost, to help you decide if this is the best yarn for you and your next project. Would you like to feel a sample of our top picks out of over 100 yarns that we've reviewed on this channel? Click the link below to get your first month's free, specialty yarn card, knitting patterns, and more. Let's get started. For traction, we give Flora a score of 3.5 out of 5. On the needles, it wasn't bad. It had a pretty good glide on my nickel-plated needles, no splitting, and not a ton of fiber sticking up like I expect from other alpaca yarns. I did notice some stitch irregularities, but some of that could be caused by my large needle size. So what brought down its score? Irritation. My sensitive skin unfortunately didn't enjoy the experience. For softness, we give it a score of 4.1 out of 5. The combination of wool and alpaca can very easily go either way when it comes to softness. Straight from the skein, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit dry, rustic, and irritating for my sensitive skin. I honestly think the culprit is the larger Peruvian Highland wool content. Maybe if there was more alpaca, that would have softened the yarn quite a bit more, similar to Nord, a 45% alpaca, 30% polyamide, and 25% wool yarn, also from Drops. After blocking, similar to Drops Fiesta, it felt better, more manageable on my skin. I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but I wish it felt like this when I was working with it. I really don't want to dread my experience working with a yarn and hope that it will soften after blocking. For comparison though, it is softer than Drops Soft Tweed, which we don't really find soft, and not quite as soft as the new Drops Fiesta. I'd say it's pretty comparable to Drops Cotton Merino. For a micron count or softness scale rating, we'd estimate it to be about a 23, so not quite your typical merino softness wise, but still softer than the average Peruvian Highland wool. For my sensitive skin though, it just wasn't quite what I was expecting while working with it. For durability, we give it a score of 4.5 out of 5. Alpaca and wool are 2 fairly durable fibers that have come together to make this non-superwash yarn. Knowing that it has a Peruvian Highland wool content, that in itself is a hardy and long-lasting fiber. Then they added in the alpaca too, a complementary fiber in my opinion. The alpaca brings the softness and a little bit of a halo, and the wool might keep it from stretching out and losing its shape. When it came to our stress test, we noticed 2 pill balls fabric to fabric and 4 distinct pill balls when feeling the swatch with our hands. Not a ton, but you could tell that it was there. Especially with the long alpaca fibers, I would be cautious with agitating or irritating this yarn, as it could have the potential or tendency to felt together. For cost, we give it a score of 4.9 out of 5. For being a 50-gram skein, you can expect to pay $3.10 US per skein. That breaks down to about 1 cent per yard, meaning a size medium sweater quantity would cost approximately $19. What a great price! Overall, we give Drops Flora a score of 4.25 out of 5. In some ways, this was kind of similar to Drops Nord, with more wool rather than alpaca content. It's the same weight, similar price point and colors, but this one, at least while working with it, just wasn't soft enough for my sensitive skin. If I were to choose, I'd probably prefer Drops Nord over this one. Have you used Drops Flora yarn before? What yarn would you like for us to do a review on next? We would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's review, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.